at the Soapbox at the Iowa State Fair. This is my third opportunity, as Carol mentioned, to be up here on the stage at the Des Moines Register Soapbox, and this is such an important opportunity to really talk about the choices that we have in front of us over the next 15, 16 months. And what I do every year is this fair is one of the best fairs in America, and I know Iowans clearly believe it's the best fair. Every single time I've come, I've brought one of my kids. I have my third child with me. It was her turn this year, and we spent the afternoon at the fair yesterday, and it was an absolutely incredible time. I can't begin to describe to you the amount of fried food that we ate on a stick, which is something we look forward to every year. I can tell you that my son, in advising my daughter that she should definitely come with me this year, said, "Rebecca, you should go because, not gonna lie, it was my best food day ever." In his 15 years at the time, that was saying a lot. So, again, I'm so glad to be here because there's a little bit going on in the political world today, and you've had an opportunity to hear from a number of candidates. I have the privilege of talking with you about the very clear contrast and the two choices that we have to be able to make in America over the next year or so during the course of this presidential campaign. We are at a crossroads in America. We have had Republicans who you've heard from, who have time and time again said, you know what, the best thing to do is not to go forwards, but to go backwards. Let's go back to the failed trickle-down economic policies of the past, those policies that say we should focus on cutting taxes for the wealthiest, most fortunate Americans. Instead of Democrats who believe that we should focus on helping people reach the middle class. As a mom with 3 young kids, as a member of Congress, the lens through which I look is what are our policy choices going to mean for their adult life? What kind of America are they going to grow up in? I want them to grow up in an America that gives them a fair shot to get ahead, that makes sure that everybody has an opportunity to succeed, not just the people who are already successful. And that's what Republicans have been focused on. You can see consistently that whether it's Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, John Kasich,
or Hillary,
there's so many of them, it's hard to remember them all, Donald Trump, they think that it's a really good idea to protect people at the top. And if you take a deeper dive into the policy positions that they've taken, they are really not only not supportive of helping move America forward, but they really want to take us backwards. They almost seem like they are focused on making sure that people have a harder time getting ahead. And I'll give you several examples. Let's talk equal pay.
Let's talk about it.
Democrats believe in equal pay for equal work. It is unacceptable in America today that women still only earn 78 cents for every dollar a man earns. Does anyone think that here in this crowd that that's okay, that we should just leave that status quo in place?
No.
Or should women earn equal pay for equal work? I have 2 daughters. I want to make sure that when they're adults, they get paid the same for doing the same work as a man does in the same job. It is unacceptable in America today that African American women and Latina women earn even less. African American women today earn 64 cents for every dollar that a man does doing the same job, and Latina women earn 56 cents in the same situation. That's an unacceptable policy. And how do Republicans respond? They respond like Scott Walker did. As governor of Wisconsin, Scott Walker actually signed legislation to repeal equal pay enforcement in Wisconsin. Rick Perry vetoed equal pay legislation, as did Chris Christie.
But they're beating us
Marco Rubio suggested that making sure that we can enforce federal law, the Equal Pay Act, was wasting time. Well, I'll tell you, as a woman and as a mother of 2 daughters and as a representative of thousands of constituents of my own in South Florida, I believe that we need to make sure that we fight not only to support equal pay but to enforce it.
And our own party's
that
hypocrisy.
is what every one of our presidential candidates believes. Let's talk about health care. You see, the important thing for us to focus on over the course of the next year and a half is, what is the contrast? What are the choices that we have? Which candidate for President of the United States is going to be supportive of the cornerstones of a middle-class life? What are those? That includes making sure that you have a good roof over your head. It makes sure that you have access, you maintain access to quality, affordable health care. It means making sure that you get a good education, that you have a secure retirement. Those are all cornerstones of a middle-class life. And let's look at the Republican record. The Republican record on all of those things, as soon as the Republicans took the majority after the 2010 election, they passed legislation in the first 100 days that attempted to repeal all of President Obama's efforts to ensure that people could remain in their homes. When President Obama took office, we were losing 750,000 jobs a month. And now you fast forward to today, and we've had 65 straight months of job growth in the private sector. More than 5 full years of job growth. The last several months have seen more than 200,000 jobs created. And that's the kind of progress that we want to continue to see. But not under a Republican presidency. We wouldn't see that under a Republican presidency because they don't support making sure that people can keep a roof over their head. Every candidate for president on the Republican side has as a top priority to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
This is time to talk about our party!
That means that the 16 million Americans
This is time to talk about our party, not the Republicans!
Would lose it. It means that young adults who can stay on their parents' insurance now until they're 26 years old would no longer be able to.
We know all this
stuff. What it means is that the 129 million Americans, like I am, who live in this country with a pre-existing condition. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 41 years old, 7.5 years ago. And you know, besides that horrible feeling of not knowing whether you're going to be able to see your children grow up, the second fear you have as a breast cancer patient is, when is the other shoe going to drop? This was before the Affordable Care Act. When is the other shoe going to drop? Is an insurance company going to drop my coverage or deny me coverage because I have a pre-existing condition? No one should face medical bankruptcy. No one should have to fight not only for their life, but also for their health care coverage. That's unacceptable, and every single candidate for president on the Republican side would take us back to that dark place. We're not going back, are we? We're not going back. We're going to continue to move forward. You know, the Republicans the last few weeks have not had such a fun time, have they? It's been really interesting among the 18 Republican candidates for president.
What are Democrats doing? Waiting for debates.
That things have gone well. They need only to take a look at Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush actually said a few days ago that we are spending too much on women's health care. How many women in this crowd think that we're already spending too much and that we should spend less, making sure that women can stay healthy? There are any hands in the air that we're spending too much? Well, I know that the women that I know, not only in my district but all across America, want to make sure that they can stay healthy, because it's not just a women's issue to make sure that women can remain healthy. It's a family issue and an economic issue. The reason that it's an economic issue is that 40% of women, 40% of households with children are headed by a woman, and a woman who's working. If women are not able to remain healthy, if they're not able to get that basic access to health care, if they're not able to make their own reproductive choices and plan their families, then that affects their ability to support their families in a very significant way. So let's take a look at where the Republicans are on women's access to health care.
They've had, how many we have had.
Jeb Bush supports.
We can't even hear our candidates because of you.
He supports making sure that women can have
silenced all our
access
candidates
to health care that allows them to make their own reproductive choices. Marco Rubio has the same opinion as Todd Aiken. He supports a ban on abortion in all cases, even in the case of rape or incest. Rape or incest. That is not where America is. Where America is that women should have access to health care. I want to close on retirement security because there is a very clear contrast between where Republicans and Democrats are on a secure retirement. We just celebrated 50 years. 50 years of Medicare and 50 years of Medicaid and 80 years of Social Security. Those programs ensure that if you work hard throughout your life, if you play by the rules, when you retire, you're not going to have to worry about falling through the floor. You're going to have a floor that's going to support you, that's going to ensure that you can feed your family, that's going to ensure that you can keep that roof over your head, that you're not going to have to choose between medicine and meals. Democrats passed Social Security and Medicare, support strengthening Social Security and Medicare, and have strengthened them. And Republicans like Jeb Bush, they believe that we should privatize Social Security. Jeb Bush supported his brother's plan to privatize Social Security. You remember how well that debate went. That went down in a ball of flames because Americans support Social Security. Americans support Medicare. But Jeb Bush said the other day that we should phase out Medicare. Does anyone here think that Medicare should be phased out? That senior citizens shouldn't be entitled to making sure
what do our candidates think?
Strong health care and that they don't have to worry about it? We need to make sure that we have a candidate for president who focuses on making sure that we have all of the cornerstones in place of a middle-class life. It is our Democratic candidates for president that will ensure that. And finally, I know I said finally once already, but really finally, let's take a look at the first Republican debate. At the first Republican debate, which was held on the 50th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act, I thought it was appalling. Well, there were a lot of things appalling, including the misogynistic comments of Donald Trump and the fact that none of the Republican candidates on that stage called him out on any of those misogynistic comments. But I couldn't believe that not a single candidate on the 50th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act actually suggested that we may want to expand access to voting rights. There was no mention on that stage of support for increasing people's access to the polls. Why? Because once Republicans began taking over the state legislatures and governor's mansions, what did they do? They started restricting access to the polls, passing voter suppression laws all across this country and denying people their right to vote. We have to make sure that elections are able to be conducted so that voters have a chance to maximize their access to the polls. And that's what Democrats stand for. We will continue to fight for every vote. And lastly, I really want to close on a high note. I am so proud of the Democratic Party and our support for making sure that we are more equal in America. Today, with Barack Obama as president, with the support of Democrats, we live in a more equal America. The Supreme Court has finally made sure that love is love. It's the law of the land. Marriage equality is something that everyone in America can enjoy no matter where they live. Yes! And let me just say, we're going to continue to push for the kind of equality that every American deserves. We're going to push for the Black Lives Matter movement. Because the change in policy that we need to ensure that no matter what your skin color, what your skin color is, what your background is, that everyone has the ability to be treated fairly and equally and not live in fear. policy needs to change. I'm proud of the young people who have been pushing that Black Lives Matter movement.
Yes.
We brought the Confederate flag down. We've made sure that symbols of hate are unacceptable in America, but now we need to move forward even more. What we don't need is immigration policy like that has been spewed by the hateful comments of Republican candidates for president. Donald Trump, it's appalling and unacceptable that he would refer to Mexicans as rapists and killers. Instead, people who just want to come here to make a better way of life for themselves and their families. And then I can't even use the vulgar term that he has used and that Jeb Bush has doubled down on, and many of the Republican candidates have called children of immigrants, who are not the vulgar word that they've used, but are citizens. Citizens. This week there has been a debate on the Republican side over whether to deny or take away citizenship from babies born in this country under the 14th Amendment, who all have legal constitutional citizenship. That is what the Democratic Party stands for. Equality, equality of opportunity, making sure that we can support the cornerstones of the middle class. President, and I will work every single day along with so many of you to make sure that the Democratic nominee for president is elected, the 45th president of the United States, and we will do it on the shoulders of Iowa.